Well, welcome to the order of Monday morning. I got my hands full here. A little late this morning. I hope you will forgive me for being a bit late this morning, but that's just how the morning has progressed. I'm up here in the sort of the library section of the house. I wish I could show you the beautiful red bottle brush bush outside my window up here. But anyway, I thought I would share something. Uh, when it gets right down to magical orders and magical organizations, fraternities, orders, things like that. If you, Almost any of them, if you try to uh, dissect their uh, their genesis with a rational, objective reality, they become really funky. They're just people, okay, and it's really easy to jump to the conclusion that it's all a big phony thing made up by crazy, flawed people that are just as uh, vulnerable as you or me. And so it's really easy just to take any organization and point to the very ordinary foundations of it. But that's not what you're joining. And if you think that's what you're joining, you're missing out on the whole adventure, the whole spiritual adventure of taking part in a magical order. When I joined the OTO, uh, I I first was attracted to an order that was truly in my imagination. It was on another plane of existence. I created the the true mystical unseen order in my mind, and so did Crowley. Okay, the OTO, complete with all of its manifestos and its open letters and its constitution and its intimation toward the constitutions and its uh, right down to the structure of the initiatory degrees, was mostly in Crowley's mind, and an ongoing organization as we have today just didn't exist. But what did exist, and on a level that was not uh, observable, observable, uh, was a mystic order. Now, Franz Hartmann, uh, a 19th century Masonic mystic guy, he had his finger in all sorts of hermetic orders and magical orders that were existed mostly in people's minds and uh, and charters and such. Was also part of the early kind of pre-Crowley OTO. Uh, and he wrote a thing called Mysteria Mystica Maxima, the Order of Oriental Templars. Now, I'm reading from Equinox Volume 3, Number 10. It's a modern OTO compilation of documents. This is the following paper appeared almost simultaneously in the Jubilee, the 10th anniversary issue of the Oriflamme, and in the Equinox number 1, Volume 1, Number 8 in 1912. That's Crowley's publication. The author, Brother Franz Hartmann, was an active member of the German branch of the OTO and is well known for his activities on behalf of the Theosophical movement. This preamble here, the first part, appears to have been added by another author, possibly Crowley, in its publication of the Equinox. Its authorship precedes the subsequent Crowley-Royce reformation of the order that is harmonized in its historical principles with the 93 current. Okay, Brother Hartmann's text shows traces of Victorian style, which I just love. That's part of what I love about the Masonry style. Characteristic of early founding documents of other groups such as the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn and the Theosophical Society. I'm not going to read this whole thing at all, certainly not, but I'm going to read what is called the first instruction, because I think it encapsulates what I'm trying to say about the true mystical, unseen, truly magical order of one's own imagination that one is joining. Here's what it says. Now, it may sound like a fairy tale, but fairy tales are real on another level, if you make them real. To whom it may concern, let it be known there exists unknown to the great crowd a very ancient order of sages, whose object is the amelioration and spiritual elevation of mankind, by means of conquering error and aiding men and women in their efforts of attaining the power of recognizing the truth. This order existed already in the most remote and prehistoric times, and it has manifested its activity secretly and openly in the world under different names, in various forms, and it's caused social and political revolutions and proved to be the rock of salvation in times of danger and misfortune. It has always upheld the banner of freedom against tyranny. In whatever shape this appeared, whether as clerical or political or social despotism or oppression of any kind. To this secret order, every wise and spiritually enlightened person belongs by right of his or her nature. Because they all, even if they are personally unknown to each other, are one in their purpose and object, and they all work under the guidance of the one light of truth. Into this society, no one can be admitted by another unless he has the power to enter it himself by virtue of his own interior illumination. Neither can anyone, after he has once entered, be expelled. unless he should expel himself by becoming unfaithful to his principles and forget again the truths which he has learned by his own experience. All this is known to every enlightened person, but it is known only to a few that there exists also an external, visible organization of such men and women who, having themselves found the path to real self-knowledge, are willing to give it to others, desirous of entering that path. The benefit of their experience, and to act as spiritual guides to those who are willing to be guided. As a matter of course, these persons who are already sufficiently spiritually developed to enter into conscious communion with the great spiritual brotherhood will be taught directly by the Spirit of wisdom. But those who still need external advice and support will find this in the external organization of that society. In regard to the spiritual aspect to this secret order, one of the brothers says, now, here's this. Our community has existed ever since the first day of creation, when the gods spoke the divine command, "Let there be light." And it will continue to exist until the end of time. It is the society of the children of light, who live in the light and have attained immortality therein. In our school, we are instructed directly by divine wisdom, the celestial bride, whose will is free and who selects as her disciples those who are devoted to her. The mysteries which we are taught embrace everything that can possibly be known in regard to God, nature, and man. Every sage that ever existed in the world has graduated at our school. For without wisdom, no man can be wise. We all study only one book, the book of nature, in which the keys to all secrets are contained, and we follow the only possible method of studying it, that of experience. Our place of meeting is the temple of the Holy Spirit, pervading the universe. Easily to be found by the elect, but forever hidden from the eyes of the vulgar. Our secrets cannot be sold for money, but we give them free to everyone capable to receive them. Okay. Do you see what this is? I guess it was very advantageous for me to take that bus trip from Costa Mesa to Dublin, California, to be initiated into this great order by two elderly, middle-class mystics in their garage in Dublin, California. I was joining this. And I was open to joining that. When at my little dinner that Phyllis prepared after my Minerval initiation, it was just the three of us. Grady McMurtry, Phyllis Seckler McMurtry at the time, and me. And when I asked after that, it's a wonderful, awesome initiation. That garage was the temple of the Holy Spirit. And at the dinner I asked, where's everybody else? And they more or less said, we're here. Now, that was a bit of exaggeration. There was several. Mildred Burlingame was still alive. Helen Parsons Smith was still alive. Both old OTO ninth degree members. Grady had, in the couple of years prior to my Minerval initiation, had sort of informally initiated a couple people, I think, in San Francisco, who had long since fell by the wayside, as many San Francisco people in the summers of love disappeared. And so I was looking at this holy order right there at the dinner table. And Grady brought out the Equinox Volume 3, Number 1, which is called the Blue Equinox, which has all of these colorful OTO documents, as if the OTO was a real live organization. And he pushed it across the dinner table. And he says, this is your programming manual. And if you want the OTO as outlined in here, you're going to have to just help us create that reality. But all along, and of course that reality was just as funky as anything else that I've done in my life. It's hit and miss and full of very human people and adventures and mistakes and everything else. So it's a real mistake to project upon the objective manifestation of any spiritual church order, to project upon them a perfection that only exists, that only properly exists in your imagination. And it's up to you to make your imagination real, to make that, to create that order to which you belong. Anyway, that should have been a Sunday school lecture. Until tomorrow, hopefully we'll be back on our normal routine for Parking Lot Tuesday. If so, we'll probably be again late tomorrow. But anyway, Constance and I hopefully will see you tomorrow. Until then, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will. The order of Monday morning is closed.